You were not meant to wander aimlessly through this life. You were not born broken, nor empty, nor powerless. But somewhere between your first breath and this very moment, you were taught to forget. To forget the power humming beneath your skin. To forget the symbols written into your very bones. To forget that your body is not just biology, it is a living temple, encoded with mysteries older than time itself. What if I told you that hidden within you is a map, a divine architecture of energy centers waiting to be remembered? Not chakras, not merely glands, not just metaphors, but seals. 7 of them, like cosmic locks placed upon gates of power, love, and vision, waiting for the moment you awaken to their call. Does this stir something inside you? A whisper? A tug? That is no coincidence. That is the memory of your soul recognizing the truth. You were born with 7 spiritual seals embedded in your energetic body. Each one represents a stage of evolution, a frequency of being, a key to unlocking your full potential. And no religion, no dogma, no outside authority can gatekeep them from you. They were given to you by something far beyond. It goes by many names: Source, God, Spirit, the universe. Let us go deeper. Across ancient civilizations, Kemet, Egypt, the Vedic traditions of India, the esoteric teachings of the Greeks, there is a recurring truth. The human being is not just flesh and bone, but a bridge between earth and sky. The temples of Dendera in Egypt show human bodies inscribed with stars. Indian scriptures speak of Kundalini coiled at the base of the spine, waiting to rise. Plato hinted at the soul's journey of remembering, not learning. You are the myth reborn, the sleeping god in human form. Each of the 7 seals governs a domain of your life. They are not just energy points, they are doorways. And just like a temple has many chambers, each more sacred than the last, your inner world unfolds in layers, if only you are brave enough to enter. But you were taught to live only in the outer court. You were handed a world that prized productivity over presence, performance over purpose. You were given labels, measurements, conditions, none of which could ever hold the truth of who you are. Is it any wonder you feel empty after chasing all the right things? Is it any surprise that success without soul tastes like sand in your mouth? Your longing is the compass back home. The activation of your 7 seals is not a performance. It's a remembering, a shedding, a returning. These seals are already within you. You don't need to earn them. You simply need to feel them, honor them, allow them to open. And the process is not linear. It is sacred. It unfolds like a spiral, like the galaxies, like the golden ratio encoded into all living things. You will revisit the same lessons with deeper eyes. You will rise, fall, and rise again, but each time closer to the core. Let us begin this journey together, not to become something new, but to awaken what was always within, to break the lie of separation, to dissolve the illusion of smallness, to remember. This is your invitation to open the first seal, not with force, but with reverence. You are not here by accident. This message reached you for a reason. You are ready, and the map is not out there, it is within. The journey begins where you stand. You are not a soul trapped in a body. You are a soul experiencing a body. There's a profound difference between those 2 beliefs. One sees flesh as prison, the other sees it as portal. The first seal lies at the base of your spine, vibrating with the pulse of Earth itself. It is the seat of your incarnation, the very tether that binds your spirit to this plane of existence. You may have heard it called the root, the Muladhara, the red wheel. But beyond names, it is the first gate, the seal of Earth. Have you ever wondered why some people feel grounded no matter what chaos surrounds them, while others constantly float between anxieties? Why some move through life with a quiet sense of belonging and others feel like strangers in their own skin? The difference is not luck, it is alignment with the first seal. The first seal is the covenant between you and matter. It anchors your spirit into the density of form, into bone, into breath, into blood. Without it, you drift. With it, you root. This is the seal that governs your survival instincts, food, shelter, safety, but also your sense of embodiment. When this seal is closed or distorted, you feel disconnected from your body. You numb, you overeat, you live in your head, you fear the world, you seek constant control. But when it begins to open, when you remember your sacred contract with the earth, something begins to shift. You feel your feet, you slow your breath, you come back into your body as if returning home from exile. The ancients knew this well. In Kemet, the red ochre of the earth was sacred. In India, grounding poses were not mere stretches, but prayers in motion. The Greeks built gymnasiums not just for strength, but for spiritual discipline, body and mind united. Opening this seal begins with reverence for the flesh. Do you treat your body as sacred ground, or as something to punish, sculpt, or ignore? Do you nourish it with real food, or numb it with artificial pleasure? Do you move with it, listen to it, thank it? Your body is not a machine, it is an altar, and when you begin to honor it as such, you begin to remember. The first seal responds not to force, but to presence. It blooms in stillness. It awakens when you slow down long enough to feel your own breath. Try this. Right now, place your hand on your belly. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply into your lower abdomen. Feel the weight of your body against the earth. Say quietly, I am safe here. That is not just breath, that is activation. To open the first seal is to say yes to being here. To drop out of the mind and into the moment. To no longer escape, but to embody. This doesn't mean you won't face fear. Fear will still rise, but you will stand rooted. The winds of the world may shake you, but they will not uproot you. Because you belong, because you remember. And from this ground, all things grow. This is where true manifestation begins, not in vision boards or affirmations, but in the solidity of presence. The universe doesn't respond to fantasy. It responds to frequency. And when your frequency says, I am here, I am worthy, I am grounded, doors open. You were never meant to transcend your body. You were meant to sanctify it. So begin here, with feet on the ground, with gratitude for your breath, with love for the vessel that has carried you through every storm. The first seal is open whenever you choose to remember your body is holy, and when you do, the second seal waits. You are not falling from spirit into matter. You are rising through matter into spirit. The descent was never the fall. It was the foundation. You are ready. Now that you are grounded in the first seal, something stirs deeper. Beneath the soil of your being, waters begin to move. You feel them not in your bones, but in your belly. The tides of sensation, emotion, memory. This is the realm of the second seal, called sacral, called svadhisthana, but truly it is the seal of sacred waters. Where the first seal teaches you presence, the second teaches you flow. This seal lives just below your navel, in the oceanic space where desire, intimacy, and feeling are born. It is the womb of your energy body, the source of your ability to feel joy, pain, sensuality, and creation. If the first seal is the earth, then the second is the moon, always in motion, always reflecting, always drawing you inward. You've been told emotions are inconvenient, to cry is weak, to rage is shameful, to desire is dangerous. And so you close the gates, you dam the rivers of your soul. But what happens when water is locked away too long? It stagnates, it grows bitter, it overflows in chaos. And what happens when it flows freely? It nourishes, it heals, it brings life. The second seal is your right to feel, your ability to be in relationship, with yourself, with others, with life. It governs pleasure and pain alike. And when it's closed or distorted, you may experience emotional numbness, addiction, over-sexualization, or shame around intimacy. You disconnect from joy. You distrust your feelings. You avoid vulnerability. But when it opens, you become oceanic. You remember that you were never meant to be a statue carved of logic, but a living being who flows and transforms. In ancient Egypt, the Nile was more than a river. It was the vein of life. In tantric practice, the sacral region is not just sexual, it is divine. Dionysus, the Greek god of ecstasy and emotion, was not merely about indulgence. He symbolized sacred chaos, necessary release, and divine intoxication. This seal teaches that to feel is not to fall apart, it is to come alive. Try this. Place your hand just below your navel. Ask yourself, what do I feel right now without judgment? Not what should you feel, not what's logical, just what is. If nothing comes, that is a feeling too. To open this seal is to learn the language of your waters. And just like the moon pulls the ocean tides, you too are moved by cycles. Grief, joy, longing, creativity. Let them move through you. Movement is medicine here. Dance, sway, swim, sing, cry, laugh. Don't suppress, express. And in relationships, be they romantic or platonic, ask not only do I love them, but can I feel fully in their presence? Can you be soft? Can you be seen? Can you reveal your tides without fear of rejection? The second seal invites you into sacred vulnerability. It tells you, feeling is fertile, desire is divine, Sensuality is not sin, it is sacred signal. Even your pain is a teacher. Even your longing is holy. But beware, this seal also tests your attachment. Do you confuse craving with connection? Do you seek escape through pleasure rather than communion through presence? To open this seal is not to chase intensity, it is to awaken intimacy, first with yourself. Creativity is birthed here. Ideas gestate in this fluid space. That book you want to write, that dream you want to manifest, it swims in the waters of your sacral energy. But it needs space, openness, receptivity. It cannot be forced. So soften. Let go of needing to be hard, to be perfect, to be in control. You are not a machine of productivity. You are a river of becoming. The second seal opens when you trust your tides, when you allow your emotions to be honored guests rather than inconvenient intruders. And when you do, you awaken a power most have buried, the power to feel without fear. And from that sacred river, a new fire is born. The third seal awaits. Now, from the waters of the second seal, you rise, upward, inward, from ocean to flame. You step into the crucible. This is the third seal, Solar Manipura, the fire center. But more than all its names, it is the seat of sovereignty. You feel it in your gut, that burning, that hunger, that flicker of I can. This is the sacred fire, and it does not exist to burn others, it exists to illuminate you. The third seal is about will, not willpower as in discipline through strain but conscious will, aligned action. It is your ability to choose, to act, to declare your presence in the world. It is the divine I am. When this seal is closed, you may feel like life is happening to you. You defer, you hesitate, you dim your light for the comfort of others. Or, swinging to the other extreme, you try to dominate, control, and force reality to bend to your ego. But when it opens, something extraordinary happens. You become the flame that neither begs nor brags. You become a quiet storm of certainty. Your choices align with your soul. Your actions become sacred. In the solar plexus burns your sense of self, not ego as distortion, but ego as vessel. A well-formed ego doesn't scream for attention. It holds space. It makes clear decisions. It knows what it is and what it is not. The ancients understood fire as divine messenger. Prometheus brought flame to humanity. Agni, in Vedic tradition, carries prayers to the gods. Fire ceremonies across cultures symbolize purification, transformation, illumination. And so it is with you. The fire of this seal burns away illusion. It reveals your truth, your direction, your divine yes, and your holy no. Try this. Bring your attention to your solar plexus, just above your navel. Ask, what must I do today to honor who I truly am? Then listen. Not to your fears, not to your obligations, but to that steady inner fire that flickers in silence. The third seal invites you to become a conscious creator, to act not from fear of failure or hunger for approval, but from knowing. When this seal opens, you stop asking for permission. You stop waiting for signs. You start becoming the sign. This is the seal that turns intention into motion. But be warned, this fire can consume if untempered. This is not the place of rage or reckless ambition. If the second seal asks you to feel, the third asks you to choose. With clarity, with courage, with kindness. There is power in restraint, in focused flame, in sacred discipline. This is the seal of boundaries, not walls of defense but circles of intention. What will you allow in? What must you protect? What will you no longer tolerate, not out of anger, but reverence for your time and energy? This is also where true manifestation takes shape. Not in daydreams, but in embodied momentum. You light the candle, and then you move. You send the email. You make the phone call. You show up to the practice. You invest. You leave. You stay. You speak. You dare. Will is not about control. It's about coherence. And when your inner fire burns in harmony with your higher knowing, you become unstoppable. Not in egoic conquest, but in divine certainty. You no longer ask, can I? You say, I will. You no longer hide your light. You become a lighthouse. And from fire, you rise to truth. The next seal calls. It speaks not in motion, but in resonance. The fourth seal awaits. You've grounded into the earth. You've flowed through the waters. You've ignited the fire. Now you begin the ascent. This is where the journey turns inward and upward into the final four seals. These are the gates of the heart, the voice, the vision, and the crown. Each one lifts you closer to your highest self, yet brings you deeper into your truth. They are not about escaping the world, but embodying the soul fully within it. The fourth seal lives at your heart. It is the green center between your lower 3 and upper 3 seals, the sacred bridge. It is where dualities merge, masculine and feminine, giving and receiving, self and other. In Sanskrit, it is anahata, unstruck sound, the pulse of the soul before it meets form. When this seal is closed, love feels conditional. You give to receive. You build walls disguised as standards. You protect yourself from pain and accidentally block joy. But when it opens, you love without losing yourself. You hold space without shrinking. You see beauty in brokenness. You forgive, not because they deserve it, but because your soul no longer wants to carry the weight. To open the heart seal is to remember, love is not a transaction. It is your essence. Place your hand on your chest. Breathe deeply. Whisper, I am worthy of love without armor. And rise. The fifth seal is your voice, your expression. It lives in the throat, where truth meets sound. You may have been told to stay small, to be polite, to silence your knowing. And so this seal contracts, but your voice is your wand. Your words are spells. When this seal is open, you speak not just to be heard, but to heal, to bless, to inspire. Your truth does not pierce, it resonates. The sixth seal sits between your brows, the seat of vision, called ajna, the third eye, the mirror of intuition. This is not just imagination, it is deep sight, the ability to see through illusion, to perceive patterns, to trust the invisible. Have you ever known something before it happened, felt a truth you couldn't explain? That was this seal whispering. When closed, you second guess. You outsource your knowing. You live blind while your inner eye sleeps. When open, you walk with clarity, with foresight, with symbolic sight. Try this. Close your eyes. Visualize a violet-blue flame between your eyebrows. Ask, what truth am I afraid to see? Then wait. Feel. Sense. And finally, the seventh seal. The crown, Sahasrara, the lotus above the skull. This is your tether to source, to the infinite, to the all. It cannot be forced open. It unfolds when the others are aligned. It is not about escaping the human experience. It's about becoming a divine human. When this seal is closed, you feel isolated, trapped in logic, spiritually numb. When it opens, you experience moments of grace, synchronicity, stillness. You no longer believe, you know. Not as fact, but as frequency. And all seven seals begin to pulse as one. Your body becomes temple, your breath becomes prayer, your life becomes initiation. The seals are not steps, they are frequencies. You dance between them, you spiral through them, you awaken them again and again, each time deeper, fuller, truer. So what now? Now you live with awareness. You eat with presence. You walk with intention. You speak with truth. You feel with courage. You act with fire. You create with surrender. You listen for the infinite. You are not becoming, you are remembering. The world may not understand. That's okay. You are here to activate. You are the temple. You are the priest and the flame. And now you are awake. Welcome home.